Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. So today we continue with the account reviews, just because there's still a couple of accounts I need to get to. We're gonna do probably 3 accounts today, and we're gonna start with Buggski who is the newest member in my alliance. So I did actually already look through his account a little, not too much because I actually asked him if he wanted an account review. So let's just get started. Alright, so first off the cards, these 4 are really good, but this Loki one I tried to replace ASAP. Just look at the stats, no procs. Cooldown looks really nice, it's more than me actually. Defensive stats are actually surprisingly pretty nice. Offensively you'd want more attack speed. Some more crit rates is really necessary. Crit damage, it's okay-ish. Your energy attack is pretty high for your cards. Yeah, what to do from here? I mean, you have a really good start with some very neat cards. Let me just look through the stats real quick. Alright, so the stats are fine, but I see that you're going for a PvE-ish build. But you do have Sentry with a mighty CTB of Conquest, so Alright, we'll get to that later. First off with the cards. What I do from here is probably give these 4 cards 6 stars. So like color them all in. Maybe you will get lucky and get some pierce like you already did there, 4%. I'd probably first off finish the White Fox card. You did get really lucky on the Cable card with 4 blue stars, if you haven't rerolled already. But I don't think you... Or maybe you got unlucky, I can't know that. So what I do from here is probably... First off roll the White Fox, then Crescent, then Luna. Do not start all of them at the same time, just go one by one. And probably replace this Loki card as soon as you can. And if you don't know if the card you got is worthy enough to replace this one, just message me in private or in the alliance. That's about it for the cards. Right, so I also looked a bit through this. These 5 are all free quality. This one is 4. Let me just mute that. I always forget to mute the messages. Right, so your raw attack here is 21% with some physical energy attack. Additional PS damage decrease 7%, that's for PvP. You do have 5% concentration, but you don't really have that much cooldown. Oh, I just did not notice it. Yeah, it's 2%. So what you'd optimally want to do here is at least go for 4 on each one. Just grind out of the world battle, you do have a couple of tunes for it. Just 5 times a day. Log in, grind it, log out. And let me just show you instead. So when you're in not a world battle, you get to set your team here. The shop is there and the battle pass is there. But if you head over to the battle pass, you can also see the challenges. And you can see a fairly easy one down here somewhere. Alright, so it's this last 2 ones. So you need to level up the buffs 1 and 2 times. And you get 400 Rune of the Unknown everything in total, I mean. Which is actually really handy because you do need a ton of that when crafting your swords. Alright, so next up are your characters. I do see that you have Luna Snow with her mythic uniform. This is probably the best tier 4 you could have picked first off. The Euro are all correct until now. No physical attack anywhere, nope. Her energy attack is only 57,000, but your cards are still in beginner phase. Decent. Good. Good, I was about to say with the physical attack on top, but it doesn't matter. And good. Alright, so it is evil, which is very good against Robust Legends. Because like, I believe 5 or 6 of them are all evil. But the cruelty increase, it should be justice. Doesn't matter that much. What I did notice is that this is only 0.7. You should reroll this to 0.9. I believe it's like 1 in 10 I can't talk. I believe it's like 1 in 10 times that you get a 0.9. Which is not that expensive, but you might need it on some other characters. I have not checked all your characters yet. So what you would optimally want to do is just reroll this as much as you can until you get 0.9. And if you are not capped on crit rate, you know what, don't do that, just roll for 0.9. The other one is a bit more of a whale tactic. What you'd also want to do is level up your overdrive, so level this one up, primarily level this one up, and also this one. Alright, so next up is Eugene. I already checked your ISO 8, it's all good. The uniform rank is only heroics, and the type enhancement is only rank 2. It might be a bit expensive for you, but I'd really recommend going for the mythic on her. And I see that you're also tier 4ing her, which is nice. I'd take this one off and give it to your Sentry or your Null. No, only to your Sentry. Because Jean is, I mean, you can still use her, but she's probably getting clapped by like 55% of the roster. What? Who am I hitting? Like 80% of the roster, I'd say. PvP roster. You do have a Judgment, which is arguable, but I'd give her the Rage if you're gonna tier 4. Like, I know Judgment is the second best, but it's like... Judgment is like... It's like a 25% of a Rage. That's how I view it. Alright, so next up is your Sharon, who only has a heroic uniform rank. I'd also rank that up because she is a native tier 1 character. Rise weight is a bit messy, it's okay-ish. I don't know how much you're using her since you do have better characters on your roster, but I'd still recommend giving her like a mediocre ISO 8 set. I mean, depending on your Odin's Blessings, you probably use her a ton, because you have so many on her. It's the wrong instinct, but it's only a 3-star, so you cannot reroll it. Yeah, and here we come to the big problem, because it is a Mighty Energy, which is pretty good. So what you want to go for is some bonus spears here, because you can get bonus spears on Energy. And a 200 proc down there. Also, if you would go for the attack and defense effect, then you would want to go for the 20% or the 15%. The 12% is the lowest here. But what you probably paid attention to is 200 here, which is good, but I'd recommend Pierce there. Alright, so next up is one which I originally wanted to laugh and cry at. But it's Black Bolt. So your uniform rank is advanced on him, and what I thought was hilarious is that you did level up the premium toon but not the free one. Doesn't matter, it's a mistake you can make, because the type enhancement is 6, which is amazing, because that's like so low that I don't even get it sometimes. I saw it is a bit messy. I mean, you don't have him tier 4, so he's not your priority target, but you don't have any gears on him, or Odin's Blessings or anything. I would give him a couple, because he's your 4th highest ranking character. And here we come to the big part, which is that you have a proc on him. He is not a proc friendly character, by all means. You know what? Maybe he is. Like if you don't delay cancel anything, you just instant cancel 5, 3, 4, 6. Actually, it could be that he's proc friendly. I've never tested him with a proc, so excuse me if I mistakenly laughed at it. But I would recommend giving him a mini rage or a rage. But then again, instead just mighty her rage. Give him a rage, or even maybe Thor. Maybe they're all deserving of rage. Alright, so next up is Miles, who has a perfectly rolled Judgment, which is perfect. You do have a 3-star artifact. The uniform rank is only heroic, but the type enhancement is the big boo boo. I mean, I don't know how often you battle Mephisto. Maybe with this roster you battle like Kang or Jean, but I cannot know since I've... Actually, you know what? With Luna you could do Kang. With Jean you do Jean. With her you do Gore. With him maybe Infinity Ultron. And with him Mephisto. That could be like your setup, I don't know, dude. But the Judgment is probably the best option on him. Maybe a Rage is a bit better for ABXL, but speed mails are like not really needed anywhere. But for a beginner, well, not beginner player, for a medium stage player in terms of tier 3s and a beginner player in terms of tier 4, this is perfect. Like, really good job on him. Next up is Ghost Rider with the proc, which has fire damage and ignore dodge, so this is perfect for Ghost Rider. For me, he is kind of hard to proc. But maybe I'm just a bad Ghost Rider player. I mean, to be honest, when I made the Ghost Rider video, I kind of still hated him. I did not want to buy him at all. And I still haven't found a big use for him. Like, I don't want to use him anywhere, and I can't use him anywhere. So it might just be my fault. But I see that you started on the gears and went with him to 26 on a couple. I'd recommend not wasting your mats like this and instead just focus on one character. I do sometimes make the same mistakes, but for me it has a reason, because I want to do like the 100-second challenges on like stage 50 of Mephisto or something. So for me every little bit counts, but I think that Ghost Rider with a proc should be able to clear stage 1 through 9, even with like 2% pierce. So what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, so I don't recommend you advancing him to 26 unless you want to tier 4 them all at the same time. If it's like a personal goal of yours or something. None of my business, but I don't recommend this. Alright, that's my boy, look at this. This is exactly the kind of build we're looking for on Thor. And just so you're not angry at me and you're not like thinking I'm roasting you, let me just show you my build. Look, I haven't even touched him. This is how I left him ever since the last video on this, and you won't remember that because you probably just stumbled upon me. I have full physical attack Eurus on him. Yeah, I do have his artifact. Lowest volt ISO probably on my roster. I have a Mighty Patience with the worst possible roll on him. And I do have the Mythic Uniform, but that was why I still used him. For me it's a meme build, for you it's probably that you just don't care about the character. It's completely fine, and it's kind of just a funny coincidence that we decided to not just coincidentally not use the same exact character. Maybe it's showing how useful of a character Thor actually is. Maybe everyone is just overhyping him, and it's just us two with the funny builds. So next up is Storm, who doesn't have anything, but she can be used as a support, so if you're using her as a support, this is perfect. You don't really have to put anything on her. Maybe if you have a spare insight or something, but seeing the amount of supports you have, I'd say that you should probably put it on someone else and not Storm first. But next up is Cap, with a 3-star artifact, advanced uniform, rank 3 type enhancement. Maybe you used him in PvP before, or still are. No mistakes in the ISO 8, that's really neat. No gears though, so I mean I did kind of make the same choices before, so what I would recommend is putting those on characters that you use, and maybe do not put these on characters you don't use. I mean, like, he wasn't really useful back then for Robust Legend, but maybe you needed him for Robust Legend. Or you just need him for PvP. I don't know. Next up is Spider-Man with a proc. I mean, he's kind of proc friendly if you instant cancel to force skill. I would fix the ISO 8 artifact, it's not really a problem. No gears here too, so maybe these three are like characters you just slap in there to do Verbose Legend with, like you do. You could do Storm lead with Luna and Spider-Man next to her, just to have someone. It's possible. Next up is Sentry with the Mighty Conquest. I would recommend getting him to level 80 and the Mighty uniform. Rank 3 type enhancement is pretty nice, and you have a very good ISO 8 set on him compared to a couple of other characters. Alright, no physical attack anywhere, that's really neat. You do have a 4-star artifact. Wrong instinct, but... Or is it? Do not put Vsauce over that and do something with it. What I would recommend is just fixing these three. Giving him a higher uniform rank and getting him to 80, because for PvP characters the jump from level 70 to 80 is insane. Like, I had Wolverine at level 70 for like 2 years. Actually, hold up, no, I'm talking absolute made up nonsense. But when this uniform came out, I had him at level 70 for like a long time. Not even close to 2 years. I haven't even... I mean, I've played that long. So just when you get the character to level 70, then get them to level 80. It's a huge jump. And if you want to be a PvP player, then from level 80 to level to tier 4 is a huge jump. So every single step counts. If you advance them from 70 to 72, no thank you. So from 70 to 72, it's already a bump. From 72 to 74, already a bump. 74 to 76, every single step is a bump. Just look at it like that. Alright, so next up are a couple support characters. Nice, perfectly rolled. Oh, this is a support artifact. I mean, it's mainly a PvP support, but it can be used in PvE. Morgan and Faye. Could be better rolled, but it's okay. Right, then we have Psylocke with... yeah, I'd rolled that for 0.9. That's the lowest roll. Give her some better ISO 8. I mean, some are perfectly rolled, but... you still need a couple. Her gears are also at 27 and 26. I would not recommend that. Just go one by one on your tier 4s. Then we have Gamora with a 3-star artifact. And... yeah, no. So maybe you're not using... that was an insane voice crack. So maybe you're not using her and that's why you have this on her, but I'd recommend giving her a proc or a mini rage. I'm gonna go drink something because the voice cracks are insane. Give me a second. Alright, so much better. So I'd recommend giving her a proc or a mini rage. But just in case you're not using her like at all, do not give her a proc or mini rage then. Then we come to Spider-Gwen with a 180 proc. It's okay. So you do have a couple of Odin's Blessings on her, so you're probably using her. If you need characters for Robust Legend, then you can level her up. But do not tier 4 her. Don't even advance the gears because you already have Luna. And she is like a 2 times as strong version of Spider-Gwen. So next up you have Doc Ock at 70 with nothing. Maybe you're ranking up Hulk and that's why, but you do need him for 1 day of ABX. Or maybe a couple. Just know that he is like 3 times as hard to play as Hulk at tier 4. And at 70 or 80 it's kind of the same in my opinion. Then we have Valkyrie with Insight 20%, perfect. Ryu with nothing, Ghost Panther nothing. do not rank up Magneto in my opinion. And also do not buy his uniform. Wait, no, it's still is off. Right, then just don't rank up Magneto, instead get Strange. There we go. So just rank Strange up to tier 2 6 stars. And then you can start tier 3 him and eventually hopefully tier 4 him. But you did ask me on advice on some of your next tier 4, so I'm just gonna be going over a couple more of these and then we can go into the tier 4s. So where was I? So you have Peter Quill, doesn't really matter. You have insane Wolverine build, as I do say so myself. Oh no. Alright, so these are both the lowest quality. This can be 150 and that can be 20%. But I'd recommend the Ambush Spark or whatever it is called, the other one, on this. So reroll that ASAP. The gears are nice. ISO 8, no energy attack. W's. But yeah, this is absolutely insane. I don't know where you got this, but congrats on it. I got a 6-star from gambling and that probably was the luckiest day of my life in MFF because I just got this from free-to-play Celestial Essence gambling. Yeah, you never thought I'd say free-to-play myself. Stop calling me a whore, guys. Then you have Mysterio with a proc. Doesn't really matter. He's not really a damage dealer. You do have White Fox, but you did not get her newest uniform. It's okay, she's still a good character. Then you probably have my most hated character, but it's okay. Adam Warlock is still pretty good. I do recommend him at tier 3 for PvP. Then you have Venom, who I think you should get the newest uniform and get him to tier 3. Because he is one of those characters where he is 1, insanely fun to play, 2, insanely strong, and 3, doesn't matter what build you give him, he's gonna perform. Like, probably don't use a proc, use a mini rage instead, or rage if you have a spare one, because he's very good with a rage. Just scroll back and watch a different video of mine. But yeah, I do recommend you get him because he's good for ABXL, and he has a Robust Legend. I mean, he's useful for Robust Legend, that's what I mean. No Rogue or Cyclops. Hulk, I recommend you get his newest uniform. This one is a bit outdated. Do not get Iron Man's uniform. I know I'm a big Iron Man lover, but I do have to admit that he's not really useful for anything. Yeah, it hurts me to say it, but he is. Or he isn't. Ant-Man. Then you have Green Goblin, I also recommend you tier 3 him. Holy sh... Yeah, you should probably tier 3 him, and I mean, his newest uniform isn't that necessary. But I do recommend you tier 3 him because that is insane. That's an insane pull. That could have been like a 6-star wave or a 6-star core F. I got both of those and both of those are horrible, so this is an insane pull. Congrats on it. Don't build Shadow Shell in my opinion. Do not build him. You can build her as a support, you can build him as a support, you can build him as a support. You do have the artifact, that's really nice. Alright, so build Strange, that's my kind of like advice, request, I don't know what to call it. But maybe instead of Strange, first focus on Wolverine, because you have an insane build on him. Those 5-star artifact will help a ton. Just don't leave Wolverine at 70 like I did, and instead get him to 80. You don't have to tier for him. I also recommend the elephant in the room, Null of course. He is insanely powerful for PvP, with even a rage. So like his base kit is already insane, and he also has some value in PvP. People are really underestimate him because they just view him as a PvP toon, but I've seen what he can do in PvE. I'd still recommend a Greed for an offensive build or a Conquest for a defensive build, but I think that at some point in the game for probably the next 6 months or so, every single player should build Null. And maybe even more than 6 months, because when Sentry was the number 1 for PvP, every other character was just like bowing down to Sentry, but there were still number 2s and number 3s. So when either Sentry gets a new uniform for Thunderbolts, or when Mephisto finally gets his tier 4, which I'm very hyped for, and gets a new uniform, then Null is most likely gonna bow down to them, and Null will only be number 2. But number 2 means that he can still beat 370 or so characters. So in my opinion, just build Null, or if you want to be risky, then build Sentry. But you already built Sentry, so you don't have to worry about that. So in my opinion, build Null, because he's probably gonna remain the number 1 for a couple of months. And if Sentry doesn't get anything for Thunderbolts, then Null is gonna remain the number 1 for PvP. For what I hope will be just a couple of months, because I like building new PvP tombs. Well, actually, I like having them. But for most likely 6 months, 9 months. Just like you cannot really accurately predict this, but he's gonna remain the number 1 for a while. And I see that you are growing in the direction of PvP, which I don't really recommend when your account is still at like a developing stage. But I see that you have Sentry, you tried with Spider-Man, you tried with Ghost Rider. I mean, I'm not sure if you tried with Ghost Rider. You tried with Cap, you tried with Wolverine, Hulk, and also Adam. So I see that you are growing towards PvP more than PvE. Maybe it's your thing. I can't really be the judge of it. I mean, I don't recommend it at all, because it is like really frustrating to just build one character after another like a machine and be forced to build the number 1s every single time. But maybe that's something you enjoy. Maybe it's your way of relaxing. Maybe it's your way of finding some enjoyment in this game. For me, I do it because, well, 1, I enjoy it, but 2, I'm also a content creator, so I like to keep everything fresh. So because I've talked for 30 minutes, I'm just gonna give you a quick recap at the end of what you should do. Right, so starting off with your cards, I recommend just going 1 by 1 from right to left, and also replacing this card meanwhile. Go for and search for more peers, it doesn't matter what kind of stats you get. Okay, so those stats are okay-ish. Actually, hold up, wait a minute. This one. Yeah, so the first 5 are like really unlucky, but the last one is okay. And also because that's blue. Just lock the blue ones on every single card when you reroll. Lock the blue ones because you need peers. It's like the most useful thing in this game. Next up you have swords. I recommend that you go 4 on each one at least. And hopefully you will get a 5 or a 6, but don't expect that. Oh, my phone is 5%, oh holy shit. In my opinion, tier 4 Jean because you're very close, and give her a rage. I'm gonna have to end it right there because my phone is gonna disable itself. And I'm gonna lose the recording, so thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord for the giveaway, and I'll see you next time. Take care.